Hey guys, it's Shannon, your hairstylist, and in this video I am going to teach you guys how to use your color kits at home that I've sent you. So the first thing that you guys are going to do is go ahead and unpack your color kit. You should have a color bowl, a color brush, gloves, a measuring cup, a whisk, your color, and developer. Get all those things laid out. The very first step is you're going to go ahead and mix your color. Now what you want to do when you're mixing color, especially for covering grays, for all of you guys that have a color kit, you're going to mix 1 to 1. So 1 part color, 1 part developer. So if you're mixing 1 ounce of color, you're going to mix 1 ounce of developer and combine them. Okay, so if you have fine, thin hair, go ahead and mix 1 ounce of color, and that's going to end up being half of the tube that I ended up sending you. After you've mixed that amount of color into the bowl, you want to match that with the developer in a measuring cup and then dump that into the bowl. Now, when you're squeezing the color out of the tube, you want to make sure that you're squeezing it like you're squeezing out the very last bit of toothpaste out of a toothpaste bottle. Make sure that you're not squeezing it like crushing it, otherwise you're going to waste a bunch of color in the bottle. Okay, so squeeze that amount of color out into the bowl and then match it with its amount of developer. Now again, if you have fine, thin hair, you're going to use 1 ounce of color to 1 ounce developer. If you have thick hair, you're going to go ahead and empty out that tube. It's most likely going to be 2 ounces of color, and you're going to go ahead and match that with 2 ounces of developer. Now that should be in your bowl, and you're going to take your whisk and you're going to mix that up really, really well until it's really, really smooth. You want to make sure that you're not seeing any chunks of color before you start applying it. Okay, so after you guys get your color mixed up, then the first thing I'm going to have you do is put a little bit of conditioner that you guys have of your own. Doesn't matter what kind it is, just get some conditioner out of your shower. Tie your hair back nice and tight. If you can whip it up into a high bun, for me, I like whipping it into a really tight low bun. So you're going to go ahead and get some conditioner. You're going to apply it around your hairline. Now, I don't have color in this bowl, but I'm going to go ahead and do the actions as if you guys are doing it at home so that you guys can see the proper way to apply it. So with your conditioner, you're going to apply this around your hairline, and that's going to prevent any color from staining your skin, which is going to be really important for those of you who are still working from home, doing video conferences, whatever. Also, I'm pretty sure that you don't want your color to stain your skin in the first place. So go ahead and grab your conditioner. You're just going to get a little line of it, not like a big old dollop. And you're going to hold your hair back, and you're just going to brush that on your hairline. And you want to match the shape of your hairline. So I'm going to go like this, and then turn my brush here, turn my brush here, turn my brush here, turn my brush here. So you just want to make sure that you really get it clean around your hairline. And you want to make sure that you're absolutely not getting conditioner into that front hairline of your hair. For most of you that are covering grays, your hairline is what drives you the most crazy. So if you get conditioner on your hair before you apply the color, it might not take as well. So go ahead and apply your conditioner maybe a little bit farther away from your hairline to make sure that you're not getting any conditioner on your roots. After that, you're ready to start applying your color. So after you apply your conditioner, go ahead and remove your ponytail, bun, whatever you did. Get your hair down. So the spot where you're going to start applying your color is where you part your hair. Now, I part my hair in the center, so I would start here. If you part your hair off to the side, let's say that this was your part, then what you're going to do is just make sure that your part is cleaned up. And how you're going to do that is start with your color brush in the back, put your thumb here, meet up with the brush, take your index finger, pinch that hair together and split it. And that's going to create a really clean section, which is really important in making sure that your color is applied in a professional manner. That's going to prevent any color spots from getting on lighter hair that you guys have underneath, etc. Okay, so if you part your hair over on the side, then you're going to go ahead and start this application from your part, wherever that may be. Okay, I part my hair in the center, so I'm going to whip that back to the center, and I'll show you guys how to start this application. So you're going to start in the front 2 sides. The reason for this is because your hair is probably resistant to covering gray. a lot of you guys are. So you want to cover that gray in the front first. Now, for those of you who are not comfortable doing this entire retouch, including the back half of your head, then I'm going to teach you how to just go ahead and do a half C retouch. And the only difference between a half C and a full retouch is you're going to stop the color in the back here instead of going all the way to the nape of the neck. That's it. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to teach you how to do a full-blown retouch. If you want to choose to stop the color here because you're not comfortable getting all up in here, totally fine. If you end up choosing to do a half C, then at the end of this video, I'll also teach you how to go ahead and get at least the outline of your hairline, so that if you did do a half C, at least when you pull your hair up in a ponytail, you want to make sure that this is covered with color as well. Okay, so we're going to start applying our color. So this is where I part my hair. The first thing I want to do is get some color on my part, and that's going to help keep the sections separate. Okay, so I'd get some color, apply it here, apply it here. Now you want to make sure that you're only applying your color as far as your gray is grown out of the root. So if your gray or your roots, your new fresh roots, are grown out this much, then right here is where you're going to stop applying that color. So you want to press and release the brush there. Press and release the brush there. So you only want to pull the color out that far. Now, if your grays are only out like this far, then you guys are just going to have a lot more patience with your application and try your best not to overlap. You really want to try not to overlap your new color onto any previous color beneath your very fresh roots. So if your grays are only out that far, then instead of like painting it on, you're kind of just going to dab it on. You want to keep your hair, you want to hold your hand here so your hair is nice and like kind of taut and tight to the scalp. And then if you only have a little bit of retouch or regrowth, then you're just going to kind of dab it like that. So for those of you that wait 3 weeks and you can't stand it because you feel like you have a sparkling line, if you guys don't have that much regrowth, you're going to go ahead and dab. If you have a little bit more regrowth, you're going to go ahead and pull it out a little bit further, but again, only out as far as where the roots actually stop. Okay, so I would put the color here first, and we're going to take sections going this way all the way down. So apply the color at the top first, then starting from the back to the front, try to get as clean of subsections as you possibly can. Pull that hair over, and you're going to apply more color to the back side of the new section that you just took. So when you're done applying that, take your brush again, from the back to the front, flip this hair over, pull it nice and tight, and apply this color at your roots. The reason why you want to pull your hair really tight when you're applying, by the way, if you have lighter ends, or if you have ends that you don't want to get your root formula on, then you want to pull your hair nice and tight. If you have hair that's kind of loose in here, then the color brush can kind of pick it up, and you can end up getting color on these light pieces that you might not want to get color on. So when you take a new section and pull it over, just kind of hold it nice and tight, and that's going to prevent that. Okay, so you're going to keep on taking these sections, applying the color to the back side until this entire side section is done. Okay? Like so. So by the time that this is done, this entire side will be over here, because you will have lifted all of this over so that you can get all the way to the very bottom. Now, again, if you have lighter ends, at this point, what you want to do is either severely wipe off your gloves or go ahead and remove your gloves and just put on a new pair. So you can grab your ends and then switch them back over. Now you want to do this with clean gloves, because if you have color all over your gloves and you touch your lighter ends, you're going to transfer all of that darker root formula to your lighter ends, and your color on your ends is going to look really splotchy, and we're going to have to fix it when I come back to the salon. Don't do that. Okay? So time to start the next section. It's going to be the exact same thing on this side. So again, just go ahead and flip this hair over. Pat, pat, pat. Section by section. You guys want to make sure that you're only taking 1/4 inch size subsections. So if this is where I just painted last, then you want to take your brush about right here. And what that's going to do is it's going to make sure that you get proper saturation, okay? If you take too big of a subsection, like if I were to take this all the way to here and take all of this hair over and paint this, then what's happening is you have color on this side and you have color right on this side, but all of this hair in the middle right here is probably not going to get color on it. So when you go ahead and rinse your hair and blow dry it after you've done this whole process, if you take too big of a subsection, you're going to still see grays that were not covered in there. So make sure that you're taking small enough subsections so that you're getting proper and full saturation on your roots. Okay, so same thing from the other side. So at this point, all of this hair is going to be over here. Go ahead and lay this back down, and you're ready to start the back, okay? If you can place a mirror behind you so you can see easier, great. If you can't, then just have a mirror in front of you and you can kind of start to see the back of this. So all you're gonna do is take a small subsection in the top, lift this up, you're gonna pull this forward, and from the brush, put the brush this way and barely pat that down. Again, make sure that you're applying on the back side of the subsection that you're flipping over. Don't apply it back here. This hair is loose back here. So since this isn't being held down, then the color brush has the ability to kind of pick hair up, and that's how you're going to end up transferring color to places you don't want it to be. So apply it on this side, and you're going to take another subsection, pull this forward, apply it back here, okay? Once you've gotten to the point where this is a little bit too wide, go ahead and take this color brush and right down the middle of your hair, part that into two, and at this point either have a mirror behind you or have somebody else who's in your home help you apply the color in the back. So at this point you can kind of use your fingers as reference to where your part is, put the color brush there, take a subsection over, flip this over, and apply it like so. Again, try your very hardest to keep your subsections fairly small to make sure that you get full enough saturation. Okay, so that subsection, if you're doing a partial, would at this point be finished. If you're going to do a full, go ahead and keep applying this all the way to the very bottom of your hair. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Again, make sure that you have clean gloves or hands before you're flipping this hair back, before you're ready to start the other side. The other side, same thing. Keep on taking subsections, pull this forward, clean subsections, and apply the color to the back of the subsection that you're pulling tightly forward. After you guys are done applying this color to your hair, go ahead and just either let your hair sit, or you can pull it back, put it into a little low pony if you want to gather your hair together, whatever you want to do. The one thing you just want to make sure that you don't do is don't whip all of your hair up into a bun and then clip it into where your color is actually sitting. So keep the ends of your hair separate from the color that you just applied to your root. Okay, so once your color is applied, go ahead and let it sit for 35 minutes. Set a timer on your phone, whatever you want to do. Let your color sit for 35 minutes, and when your color is done processing, you're going to hop in the shower, and you're going to let that water sit on your head until you feel like the water is completely clear again. Once the water is completely clear, shampoo and condition as normal, and you're done. Your roots will be covered. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for purchasing a color kit from me. I really, really appreciate it. Every little bit counts, I swear to God. I'm so excited to see all of you guys back in the salon. If I need to do a little bit more serious gray coverage on you guys when you come back, that's totally fine. But I'm really glad that we have resources to get you guys feeling, you know, decent during this stay-at-home order and this crazy time. So thank you guys so much. Love you. Let me know if you have any questions. Shoot me a text. Anything about this process, if you have any questions, let me know. I will be sending you guys an email if you'd like with these steps listed out, so you have an email version and you can also follow this video. Okay? Good luck.